Well, just to remind you of some reporting that we've been getting just in, as I was saying a few minutes ago, the Qassam Brigades has released video footage showing the launch of its kamikaze drones into Israeli territory. The military wing of Hamas said it targeted sites in Israel for the first time since its offensive more than 2 weeks ago. Well, let's bring in Tamer Qarmout. He's a professor of public policy at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. Tamer, how much should we be making of this development, drones being sent into Israeli territory?
It's important, especially that the land invasion has been delayed so far. We don't see any movement on that front. And this also could relate to this, that the Israelis and Americans know that Hamas has some tactical weapons. I mean, kamikaze drones are very important in these types of warfare. So the fact that Hamas is releasing these images now and videos, so it says that I'm ready, and I maybe have more to show or to use if the war escalates. So I think we take it into this context. But still, I mean, the Israeli army is the Israeli army. It has a lifeline support, logistical support from the U.S. The U.S. is fully committed to support Israel in its military operation, be it a land invasion or something limited. So I think they're doing their calculations carefully. And probably the Americans also, they don't want to see Israel getting into trouble. I mean, remember, Anastasia, the Americans had a similar experience in Al-Fallujah, but Gaza is 10 times bigger than Al-Fallujah in Iraq. So this could be Israel's nightmare as well. And I think the last thing the Americans want to see is an embarrassment for Israel in any future invasion in Gaza. So they don't want the Israelis to seem struggling and not able to achieving their military goal. So I would assume that most of the deliberations and the discussions now revolve around these issues, tactical issues. What are the end goals of any future invasion or military operation inside Gaza? And I think my guess from following the media, and even Israeli media, is that the Israelis are still, they don't have concrete goals. They don't know exactly what they want and how they want to achieve it, and whether or not they have all the military capabilities they need to achieve a full ground invasion, if that's the scenario.
Well, they keep talking about how they're willing for this war to go on for as long as it takes to get rid of Hamas. But I've been wondering, what are the options for Israel in the event that that actually does happen? We've also seen this increased crackdown in the occupied West Bank. If Israel succeeds in getting rid of Hamas, would they not need some kind of goodwill or some kind of relationship with the Palestinian leaders in Ramallah in order to try to create some kind of governance structure?
That's like Pandora's box. I mean, it's like opening Pandora's box. First of all, we don't know how will this war end and what's Israel's end goals when it comes to, I mean, is it really getting rid of Hamas or weakening Hamas and making it irrelevant in the future? This could be another goal, possible goal. And the possibility of this evolving into a regional war as well, Hezbollah entering also, then this is a game changer as well. And most importantly, the willingness of Arab countries and governments to be a part of any future solution that involves, let's say, getting rid of Hamas rule in Gaza and then inviting someone else, be it an Arab country, an Arab force, or the Palestinian Authority in Ramallah coming back and having a future in Gaza after Hamas. So these are all big questions, but I think it's too early to ask these questions. Yes, these are rightful questions, but so far we have been seeing things are moving slow now, and seems the Israelis are recalculating their options in light of what they see. They tried yesterday to invade Gaza. There was a limited operation. They lost a soldier and 3 wounded. And now Hamas is showing its kamikaze drones. So I think the Israelis are nervous. Gaza is their nightmare. I mean, in the Israeli narrative, psychology, name it. I mean, Gaza has been the nightmare since decades. I mean, there was a famous prime minister who said, I think it was Rabin, like, I wish one day I wake up in the morning, I see Gaza in the Mediterranean, non-existent. So for them, it is their nightmare. So, and it's not easy. And for me, the horrifying thing is the civilians who are stuck in this. We have 2.3 million Palestinians who have no say whatsoever in the military operation, the military discourse. You know, they are civilians, same like the Israeli civilians in Israel. But these are protected. They have shelters. They have hospitals to go to. But think about the 2.3 million civilians in Gaza who have nothing but massacring and all these kids who are dying. And why? For what? I mean, what's their? I mean, the Holocaust survivors, the Israelis, why do they want to see? How is this good for them? That these thousands of kids who die and being massacred by Israelis, how is this good for the survivors of the Holocaust who also suffered a lot? How? I mean, future will judge this. So this has to stop. I mean, but again, we hope that there is an international will, that the Americans at least wake up and become wiser, because they've experienced similar scenarios in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they failed to achieve any military victory in these countries. I don't think Gaza will be different than Iraq or Afghanistan, although it's smaller, yes, and its capabilities is much smaller, but they left nothing to people there. So it's going to be a tough war if they decide to go to achieve their full target, declared target so far, which is getting rid of Hamas. And I don't know how so far, how.
A tough war, and obviously, as you were saying, the toughest for civilians.
Correct.
Tamer Qarmout there, Professor of Public Policy at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. Great to have you back in studio with us. Thank you so much, Tamer.
Thank you, Anastasia.